Because attraction usually doesn't show up when she's looking at you. It shows up in what her mind keeps when you're gone. Most guys look for the obvious signs: eye contact, fast replies, laughing at jokes that weren't even funny. But those signs can be faked. Politeness can look like chemistry. Attention can look like interest. And confidence can make you imagine a signal that was never there. But memory is different. People remember what matters to them, not logically, emotionally. Their mind holds on to what felt important, what felt different, what carried a little extra weight. So if she remembers something small about you, something you barely emphasized, something most people would let pass without noticing, that's when it gets interesting. Not because memory is magical, because attention is expensive, and nobody spends it carelessly. If she remembers your coffee order, that's nice. If she remembers the name of your dog, still nice. But those are surface details, easy to store, easy to repeat. They don't mean much on their own. What matters is what kind of thing she remembers. Does she remember the tiny story behind the scar on your hand? Does she remember that you hate being called when you're stressed? Does she remember that one throwaway sentence about how you used to stay up late building ideas no one else believed in? That's different. Because now, she's not just tracking facts. She's tracking you. And that's where most men get it wrong. They think attraction is about how she acts in front of them. But often, the real sign is how she thinks about them in private. When you're not in the room, what survives? That's the question. Because when a woman likes you, she doesn't just hear you. She organizes you. She starts building a mental file on you without even realizing it. Your patterns, your preferences, your contradictions, the parts of you that don't fit the public version. And the more emotionally engaged she is, the more detailed that file becomes. This is why one of the strongest signs isn't that she asks a lot of questions. It's that her questions get better over time. At first, anyone can ask, "What do you do?" That means nothing. Later, she asks, "So, did that meeting go the way you wanted?" Now she's following a thread. Now she's returning to something unfinished. Now she's showing you that what you said didn't just land. It stayed. And that matters more than most men realize. Because remembering is a form of investment. It means your words didn't die after the conversation ended. They echoed. And here's the part people miss. Women rarely remember random details about men they feel neutral about. They may remember the broad outline, the obvious stuff, the job, the city, maybe the gym routine. But subtle details, emotional details, the things wrapped in mood, vulnerability, timing, nuance, those are usually reserved for someone who created tension in the mind. Good tension. The kind that lingers. Think about it. We all forget things that don't move us. Names, stories, preferences, even faces. Not because we're careless, because the brain filters. It keeps what feels relevant, what feels unfinished, what feels emotionally alive. So when she brings up something small you mentioned days ago, don't brush past it. That wasn't random. That was selection. And selection is never neutral. Now, this doesn't mean every remembered detail equals desire. Some people are naturally observant. Some are just warm. Some remember everything about everyone. So the sign isn't memory alone. It's selective memory plus emotional precision. That's the combination. If she remembers details that reveal how you feel, not just what you said, that's when it becomes powerful. For example, maybe you told her you like being alone sometimes. A neutral listener hears, he likes space. A woman who's tuned in hears, he pulls back when life gets heavy, not when he stops caring. That's a completely different level of listening. And if she remembers you at that level, she's not casually interacting with you anymore. She's studying your internal world. Quietly. That's attraction in one of its most mature forms. Not loud, not performative, not dramatic. Just precise. And precision is rare. This is also why the strongest women often show interest in subtle ways, not through chasing, not through obvious compliments, but through recall, through reference, through these small moments where you realize she noticed more than she needed to. You mention a goal once, she asks about it a week later. You tell her a song means something to you. She brings it up out of nowhere. You make an offhand comment about what throws you off mentally. Later, she adjusts around it without announcing that she noticed. That last one is big. Because remembering is one thing. Adapting is another. And when she starts adjusting to details about you that you never had to repeat, that's no longer curiosity. That's care, which is why this matters so much. A lot of men are waiting for attraction to look cinematic. Long eye contact, big confessions, flirting so obvious it's impossible to miss. But real attraction often looks quieter than that. It looks like retention. She remembers what embarrasses you. She remembers what drives you. She remembers how you change when you're tired, when you're focused, when you're holding something back. And the reason that's so powerful is simple. People don't memorize what they don't emotionally revisit. If she remembers something meaningful, there's a good chance she didn't just hear it once. She returned to it. Maybe consciously, maybe not. But somewhere after the conversation ended, your words came back. And that's the part most men never think about. Attraction isn't always in the moment. Sometimes it happens after the moment. In replay. In reflection. In the private rewatch. That's when feelings deepen. Not while you're speaking. After. So if you want to know whether she likes you, stop obsessing over how animated she seems in the interaction. Watch for what comes back later. Watch what she references. Watch what she remembers without being prompted. Because what returns reveals what remained. And what remained usually had emotional weight. Now here's the insider detail that separates casual interest from real attraction. It's not just that she remembers the detail. It's what she chooses to do with it. If she uses what she remembered to make you feel more understood, more comfortable, more seen, that's the sign. That's the one. Because now, memory has turned into attunement. And attunement is intimate. A woman can remember your favorite drink and feel nothing. That's easy, functional, almost social. But if she remembers the thing you never framed as important, the thing under the thing, and then responds to it with care, that's different. That means she isn't just collecting facts about you. She's protecting meaning. And people only do that when someone matters. So the next time she casually says, "You told me that," or brings up a detail you forgot you even mentioned, don't just hear the memory. Hear the message behind it. Her mind made room for you. And that almost never happens by accident.